What's up, everybody? It's Verbal for Fat Goat Plugins here at the impressive Fat Goat Records studio in Buffalo, New York. And I'm going to run down all the features, get you familiar with the interface, and demo the sound of this beautiful Aurora effects plugin. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, me, I even have. So one of the coolest things about making plugins is having the ability to have visions and then eventually seeing them come to life. Now, I've had the idea for making Aurora for 10 years, and it took me this long to be able to do it. And that's exactly what it is. Now, you may look at it and assume, oh, it's just another tape plugin. Okay, whatever, no big deal. Unfortunately, you're not right at all. So while it does have some tape emulation within it, it actually has 30 decks, I think, inside of it, which you have complete variable control over how much of it you are imparting. You have a wet dry for the tape emulation in itself. So in addition to not just having like 5 tape types and barely any variation on how much you use it, there is 130 and then a completely variable amount of blending. So right off the bat, that's much different than anything really that exists. If there is, I didn't see it before. Secondly, one of the things I wanted to do is not just make it about being a tape machine. It's more about being a time machine. I wanted it to be able to replicate basically the sounds of different eras and taking and being able to blend all of those things like harmonics, distortion, noise, the sounds of tape, like little limiting circuits, drive, all these things, just kind of having it in one place so you can just use it as a tool for whatever you're listening to and whatever you're trying to mix. The one thing that I've gotten throughout the creation of this is at the point now where it is and where it's finally being released, I have been able to make anything that I've ever put through Aurora. This is a great example. This beat, Drop Knowledge, I made it a couple years back. One of my favorite mixes of a beat that I've ever made. I really enjoy the mix. It just sounds kind of the way I want my beats to sound. So I thought it'd be a good time to use this as an example because this beat is pretty much the way I like things to sound. And if I can make it sound even better with Aurora, that sounds like a win to me. So first off, just listen to it a little bit so you can understand how it sounded on its own.
What's left to be said? What y'all know about? What's left to be said? Left to be said.
It's not even that it's a pristine in any way. It's just the blend of things. The way the drums hit, the sample, the bass. It sounds dirty. It's yet got a cleanness to it. It's a good sounding beat for old school style. But that was something I would use while I was creating these plugins. And if I could make it sound better with something, then why wouldn't I, right? I'm not probably going to ever re-release this, but the fact that I can take one of the best mix beats I've ever made and make it sound better pretty quickly just with Aurora. So first off, the first thing you're going to notice is right when you turn it on, you're like, oh, there's noise. So I know that it's not that hard for people to put underlying noise, but there's something called a psychoacoustic effect of giving a noise floor to digital recordings. So beyond just making a traditional vinyl crackle that's going, one of the cool things about it is there is quite a bit of variation of what you can do with this noise. So as of right now, it's on the bottom of the voltage. They're just the two different types of noise. So let's switch. You can hear that. Let's switch again. This is like a VHS vinyl, ambient VHS. So let's turn that off for now. Let's go through these ones. Once again, I had to put in a cassette. I have VHS, cassette, reel to reel. We also have vinyl. It's a pretty nice thing to have. So these noises are fully adjustable. I don't know why you'd want that really loud, but this is a nice. Just having the noise there. Now watch. So let's just do the vinyl crackle. It's one of my favorites. Easy. It's just something that makes you feel good, right? So we're just going to load. This is just the default patch. So you have the ability to turn them on and off here. I'm not going to go into the sound yet. Turn them off and on and switch between the different noise types here. You can have them both going if you wanted. Pretty sweet, right? You can also make it the whole sound of the everything going through it. It's default as stereo. You can make it mono. That's not just the noise, that's the whole thing. So let's just roll down everything. First, we obviously have an input trim that is not anything groundbreaking. You have your output adjustment, which feeds into a little tiny analog old school style limiter circuit that it doesn't do tons, but it is another level of tonal things you can do here. Then you have your push and dirt adjustments. Your push is just kind of similar to a clipping circuit, and dirt is just a set type of saturation that we're using, and you can blend the amount of dirt right here. The tone blending reflects the tape machines, whatever decks we like to say. So you can change your decks by clicking the reel, and look at how many there are. You can choose any of them that you want, and then you can blend them. The amount, right is more, left is less. The way that I created these, they're not subtle. So I tend to blend them from the bottom up, low to high, until it imparts something that I enjoy. The next part of it is our harmonics. As you can see, each element, when you hover over it, up here, it tells you what it is. Emulation selection, emulation blend, harmonics level, dirt level, etc. The harmonics blend is a wonderful thing. This is one of my favorites. Left and right are odd and even harmonics, and you're blending the percentage of odd and even harmonics that you are imparting onto the signal. The dirt is obviously affects the amount of dirt that it's just a loose term. Then we have some nice little variable tilts here, which I really wanted to do. Having the ability to just tilt the low and the high frequencies a little bit. It's a simple thing that you do during the mix stage, sometimes in mastering, it's called a tilt. So the decibels are on these knobs, and this is the frequency in which it's tilting. Then you have a roll off, so you can roll it down, get rid of the high frequency content, make it even older. And obviously the on off. And these are the blends for the noise. And that's pretty much it. So that's the GUI, and now let's get to some demos. All right, I did forget you can toggle the size if you want. You can make it bigger, smaller, whatever you want. It's another thing. And also you can save your preset, and there is previous and next, and then you can select here to go through all of the presets. There's quite a bit. So there's that. Now we're going to get into some of the sounds. So as I was telling you before, we played the beat. We'll just play it a second so refresh your memory. This is one of my favorite mixes on a beat I've ever done. Nice sounding, right? So I was thinking this is a good example of something just making it sound better with Aurora. Let's just start from scratch and literally just do, we'll just do the initial preset. Turn it on. I don't know. That's the point here. It sounds better. Did nothing. All I did was put the plugin on. There's multiple reasons probably why this is happening. It's gluing everything together. I can hear that the bottom is more round, so we're going to listen to it just a second without. I'm going to switch back and forth. It's gluing it. It's gluing it together. It's also adding more body and depth to the low end, and it's also giving some harmonics and sparkle in the highs. That's the most easily noticeable thing is what's happening with the highs. This is the default preset. You know what I mean? There's not even particularly anything crazy about it. It's just the fact that it sounds better just turning it on. And it's my favorite mixed beat I probably ever did. So I'm just going to roll through some presets and adjust things. I'm just going to adjust. How about we do that? It's real. This limiter is extremely subtle. Just listen. The transients are getting compressed when I turn that on. Now let's listen to it before and after. With processing. Without. Here it is. Yeah, that sounds better. Oh, that's just the beginning, though. So I'm just going to scroll through some presets here. Ooh. Magnet sauce. Oh, really dirty. I like it better like that. Coming in the update. Ooh! Wow. Well, that's a pretty big difference here. Let's level match so we don't get discouraged. Wow. That sounds beautiful. This one's muddy. That's really lo-fi. It's crazy because when I listen to this, like listen to the beat now on its own without the processing, it doesn't sound nearly as good to me. So basically, am I tripping here? Everything, it all imparts a different sound. This one has the tape. Nice. Man. So you kind of get the gist of it, right? I don't have to do this all day. Basically, any two-track mix, particularly, it's not a tape machine, it's a time machine. And beyond it being able to recreate all these different sounds of the past, it can blatantly make almost anything, any two-track ran through it, sound better. With all the tools that you have at your disposal, it's kind of crazy, actually. So, I mean, I don't really know what else I need to say here. Aurora is the best processing plugin I've ever made. It took a long time. I'm extremely proud of it. And I'm pretty sure that people are going to really enjoy the results that they get just running their two tracks through it. I mean, it's not just a tape machine, it's a time machine, bruh. So, verbal for Fat Goat. Hope you enjoyed the demo. Grab a copy ASAP. Peace. As you can clearly see and hear, Aurora is not a tape plugin. It can literally transport the audio you feed through it to any point in time in history. So head over to fatgoatplugins.com and grab a copy while you're still in this timeline. I've been Verbal for Fat Goat Plugins. Now go make some history.